All right, Moody Analytics, they just came out and said that Boise is overpriced by 72%. Inflation just came out. We are still on the rise for inflation, which means more than likely the Federal Reserves are going to increase interest rates again when they meet this month. Our month-over-month reports have come out today, and realtors are probably telling you that we are still up from last year. Let's debunk that. 3 to 4 months ago, I came out with a video saying that our market, the Treasure Valley market, the Boise market, is going to have a 30% correction. And some of you guys said, no way, that's not going to happen. We're 4 months now into it, so 4 months later, let's look at the data and see what our market is really doing. Like I said, we had some haters and some lovers, which means that we read your comments. So if you like what we're doing, if you have a comment, if you have a disagreement, or if you agree, please put it in the comment below so that we can read them and we can respond. There's 3 builders that I just want to look at today, because one of the comments that we had is, this builder, I just talked to this builder's agent, they put a house on the market, they got a full price listing. Now we're 4 months later, and let's see what that same builder, well actually we're gonna look at 3 builders, what is their prices, what's their inventory like. First builder that I wanna jump into is Lennar. Lennar, they have 13 listings currently on the market right now. Out of that 13 listings, 70% of them have had a price reduction between 5 to 13%. Venta Homes, that's another big corporate nationwide builder. I don't know what they're doing in your market. Let me know what they're doing in your market. But Venta is nationwide. They have had, on average, 35% of their homes have had a price reduction. And then Blackrock, this is different than the Blackrock that's going nationwide buying up. This is a local builder who's building. And I just want to go into those because one thing, we can't just rely on price reductions. And so that's why I brought up Blackrock, because what we're going to look at what one home, their same floor plan, same model, same subdivision, what that home sold for 4 months ago to what it's listed for or pending for now. So what we see here is this house. It was listed at $572 and it sold for $572. This was about May. The beginning of May. And what you'll see later on in this video, so make sure you stay till the end, is we're going to actually look at the month-over-month data, because in May, in the Boise market, that was the highest sell price, and we have been on a steady decrease, despite what other realtors are saying is, wow, year over year we're up, which is true, year over year we're up, but month over month we are down, down, and down. So look at here, May, this house sold for $572. Now, the same floor plan in the same subdivision is listed at $516. So we're talking about just shy of a $60,000 price decrease. This home right here, it sold at the end of April for $462. The same floor plan, same everything, pending at $420. So that again is $40,000 difference, just shy of 10% decrease over a 5-month period. Moody's Analytics, they're saying that Boise's overvalued by 72%. Not only are they overvalued by 72%, but they are also calling for a 20% correction in the Boise market. So even though they're overvalued 72%, they're calling for a 20% correction, which if you add the 10% that we're currently seeing right now and the 20%, that's 30% that we called for a couple months back. And I say this because we're not just real estate agents, we're also real estate investors. And when we're working with our clients, we're trying to educate them, hey, we got to be very thoughtful, very strategic in what we're buying and how we're buying it. And so that's why we definitely want to share this data. So now also today, inflation reports came out that we're at 8.3%, which is higher than what the feds want. Now the feds have been talking about if inflation is continually rise, they will continue to rise the interest rates so that we can get the inflation down to a 2% mark. Well, right now we're still rising inflation, which means more than likely when the feds meet up this month, we're going to see another interest rate increase. The reason I was calling for this 30% correction is because of the interest rates continue going up. So if the feds continue to rise their interest rates, more than likely, they're going to. And so if they do, we are going to see a continuation of a housing correction in our market. Again, right now, we're seeing about an average of 10% just on new builders. And I think who this will affect the most is builders who built spec homes, investors who bought flip properties, because they don't have a buyer lined up. If they continue to rise, already we're seeing a difference in a monthly payment of about $800 because of the 3.25% interest rate jumping to a 6% interest rate. This data right here, I just kind of want to go into why I think we're going to maybe see even more, because we have a lot of sellers. Our inventory has increased, skyrocketed. Currently, our inventory is up 111% year over year. That is a huge jump, but our sales are down 35%. So right here, we're looking at this graph. In this graph, it shows that since May, our home sales have continually dipped. On this graph, it's a 5-year period. Reason why I look back 5 years, because our local market, your local market probably has the same thing, is we have increases in home sales and decreases in home sales that are typically about the same. In September, normally in September of a year, those start dropping down. So our home sales start slowly dropping down until about January, and then January they take off again with a dip here and there, September, and then they dip down again. Well, here since May, we've had a continuation of home sales dropping year over year. Not only are they dropping year over year, but they're dropping month over month. And so we're seeing a steadily decrease in home sales. That means that home prices are going to continue to go down as demand is not there and supply is rising. Completely reverse of when in 2020, right? The whole toilet paper shortage. At least that's what happened here. Redfin came out and said that there has, and the average home in the Boise market, 70% of the homes listed have had a price decrease in our market. But you can't just look at price decreases. Remember, like the builder we just looked at. Now, instead of having a price decrease, they're just listing their home 10% lower than what they sold that same house for 4 months ago. So what's the good news in all this? Well, the good news on this, if you are having to relocate to our area, the great thing is you have leverage. The buyer has leverage like none before. And so you have a lot of leverage. Not only that, but if you're buying finance, sellers are giving concessions. A listing that I just got sent this morning from a client. This seller is willing to give $40,000 to help you buy down your interest rate, which drops your lower monthly payment. That's good news. And you want to buy a house. You have options. You can take time to think about it. Not only think about it, but then you can negotiate. You have leverage as a buyer, which we haven't seen in about 7-ish years. And what's the good news if you're a local and not having to relocate? Prices are coming down back into affordability. Now, of course, the higher interest rate makes the monthly payment a little bit more, but with that closing costs credit from the sellers, you can buy down that interest rate, which could give you a mortgage that's cheaper than what that same house would rent for. And so we're seeing affordability. It may not be here tomorrow, it may not be here today, but it is coming, and is coming sooner than you think. All right, now the last thing I want to talk about is because agents right now are saying, wow, our market's up year over year, which yes, it's true, we are up year over year, but since May, our housing market has continually decreased in home prices month over month. What do I mean by that? In May, the median sales price, we were about $602,000 in our area. Now it's at $565,000. But if we were to look at the year over year, well, last year at this time, we were at 560 or 555, I believe. So yeah, technically we are up year over year, but we have been on a steady decline since May. And so don't get lost in the, oh yeah, we're doing good, we're up year over year. Sometimes you got to look a little bit closer. You got to look maybe at the month over month. Maybe you have to dive a little bit deeper. Oh, hey, we're not seeing price reductions. Well, yeah, because the sellers are listing their house lower than what they would have 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And so just remember, be very cautious on who you listen to and what they're saying, and look at the data yourself. And on top of that, if I've messed up, if I said some wrong data or you guys disagree, put it in the comment below so we can read it, so that we can look, because iron sharpens iron. And when you correct us because we said something wrong, it just makes us dig a little bit deeper, do better research, so that these videos are not only productive, but they're truthful, and that we are providing value.